project. This focuses on agricultural technology exchanges for African students in water-saving irrigation, for example, food loss reduction, climate disaster response. And there's also the Africa-China Universities 20+20 plan. Victor mentioned the university links. Partners up 20 Chinese universities with 20 African universities. And China also has pledged vocational training for 500 principals and teachers annually. There's 10,000 technical personnel training and various workshops for government officials and technicians. Now, I've got some Chinese official data here which says that 220,000 personnel across various fields from Africa have been trained in China. And per year, there's some 50,000 African students studying in China. Now, you'll know about the Luban workshops. This provides high-quality technical training. There's a dozen across the continent. And the one in Kenya at the Machakos University, I think, is especially worth mentioning because it provides modern technology training, and the focus is on cloud computing, information security, big data analytics. And this is very much the future, right? We talk so much about bridging the digital gap because this is hindering economic progress in the developing world. And projects like this and training in this field is what will help to close that gap. And it's also what Kenya is pursuing, harnessing the digital economy. The Confucius Institute at the University of Nairobi, that partners up with Chinese enterprises annually for holding job fairs. And these companies say that they often recruit directly from Luban workshop students, knowing that they will have the right professional and technical skills. And something else that's interesting I just want to add is that I saw a survey of young Kenyans aged between 18 to 35. And this showed that actually the majority, almost half of the people surveyed were interested in doing business as a career rather than pursuing traditional ones like law or teaching. And China holds an annual youth innovation and entrepreneurship competition to that end to build a platform of exchange. So as you can see, an array of ongoing projects.
Marvelous, marvelous. The future certainly looks very bright. I've got a question for Mr. Shi. And China and Africa have cooperated extensively before. And by all indications, they'll continue to collaborate and cooperate to even greater levels. This question, culture obviously being key to all of this, what opportunities and intentions exist for a mutual growth in the respective cultural awareness, understanding, and integration?
What you said really struck a note with me about TikTok being a powerful platform and a powerful tool where a lot of these cultural awareness is happening, cultural exchanges are happening on that platform. In fact, China and Kenya, for example, have developed a vibrant cultural relationship that plays a crucial role in enhancing their diplomatic and economic ties. First of all, there's the Confucius Institutes to the Luban workshops that Jan just mentioned. Confucius Institutes play a pivotal role in enhancing cultural understanding. They offer courses not just in language, they offer courses in Mandarin, of course, but they also offer courses in traditional Chinese music, calligraphy, martial arts, providing Kenyans with first-hand experience of Chinese culture, a comprehensive way of learning the different layers and elements of the Chinese culture. And then China offers numerous scholarships to Kenyan students each year. They're welcome to participate in an education experience in China. This allows them to study in Chinese universities across various disciplines, including engineering, medicine, and arts. More importantly, these students gain not only academic knowledge, but also deep cultural insights during their stay in China. And upon their return back to Africa, they contribute to Kenya's development and serve as cultural ambassadors, sharing their experiences, first-hand experiences, I should add, and fostering greater understanding of Chinese culture. I would also like to mention specifically media collaboration, a relatively new element, a new layer in the cultural awareness process, if you will. Media plays such a critical role in promoting cultural exchange between China and Kenya. Chinese media outlets, including our very own CGTN, has established a significant presence in Kenya. We provide not just a mix of news, but also entertainment and educational content that highlights Chinese culture, while also covering African stories. By featuring Kenyan content and perspectives, our media outlets help bridge cultural gaps and promote a more nuanced understanding of each other's societies. And just look at what we're doing today. Victor and Habak, by talking to our colleagues in Kenya, we gain fresh perspectives
Right.
of what our African audiences are interested in, what they are keen to finding out from our coverage, and this allows us to gain a better understanding and maybe just fine-tune our content to cater to a Kenyan audience more effectively. And I'm only hoping, I'm counting on more such exchanges to happen in the future. That one I can tell you.
You bet, yeah. This is
Excellent.
just the beginning. It's just the beginning.
You know, Mr. Shi, you did say that you don't have a crystal ball, so you can't tell what the future holds for us. But I'm curious to know, now that we've, established this media connection between China and Kenya and Africa, in general, what does the future look like? How does this collaboration help in enhancing, some of the needs of both countries, both areas? How can we collaborate further? What's the future looking like for us? To you, Ms. Yang.
Well, I think more of what we're doing right now today, Hibak, very much more media exchanges. We're talking to each other, finding out the perspectives from each other's view. I think we absolutely cannot overestimate the role that media plays in relations. Today we've talked about how important culture, people-to-people exchange, all this is to fostering connections. But what we're doing is important too, because this is how information reaches the general public. It's how impressions are formed, right? So for anyone who doesn't get to travel and see for themselves what a country is like, the media is their eyes and ears, and I think it's our role to break down those any stereotypes, any prejudice, go beyond the facade. It's got to be more than just one narrative out there with any news, and it's our duty to make sure that more, if not voices, are heard. And Zhong Shi was talking about our network in Africa and all the stories that we get to do there, and I think it's fantastic because we get such a range of stories. Not just current affairs news, but also ones that really show the vibrancy and the potential of a young Africa, and also the entrepreneurial spirit and the creativity at a very community level. And that can sometimes be overlooked easily amid all the stereotypical news that you might get about, say, Africa's natural disasters, any conflicts and developmental challenges. So, I think more coverage, and there's no right or wrong coverage, but a diverse coverage, telling all the stories that should be heard, that need to be heard, that deserve to be heard. And it's a reciprocal effort, right? And I think we're talking about FOCAC today. So FOCAC, this has made this very much a part of its action plan as well. And news media on both sides encouraged to provide comprehensive, objective news coverage of the other side and play a positive role in enhancing understanding. So very much our role to show a full picture as much as we're able, because I think when there's enough understanding, there's tolerance, there's acceptance, there's empathy, and all that is conducive to genuine and well-intended cooperation going forward.
Victor and Habak, let me just quickly add, what we're doing today would have been next to impossible 10 years ago or 5 years ago in the old media landscape. This is a new media landscape where we are embracing openness. It would have been next to impossible to have our voices aired on a different network, on a different outlet 5-10 years ago.
Right.
And now this openness is crucial to getting each other's voices and perspectives across. I think this is the new media landscape that is going to encourage more people-to-people exchanges, that is going to encourage more understanding between our peoples.
And openness, I think, is definitely the key word here. More exchange, more dialogue, and that is openness. It makes people open-minded and accepting of new views, and that's hopefully where we're headed.
Absolutely. I couldn't have said it better myself. Matter of fact, I'll tell you this. We did say we don't have crystal balls, but I'll tell you this. This is a wonderful beginning. You're right when you say that 10 years ago, this would have been absolutely unheard of. But this is a step in the right direction. And I'll tell you what, in the next few years, who knows, maybe in one of the future forecasts, you might just be having this conversation in your very own language. Chinese.
With the two of you, perhaps?
With us. We're learning. We're absolutely learning. I personally have begun to take some classes. So watch this space for us, but also for the broader collaboration and understanding of the African continent and our Chinese friends.
Right, and it's been such a pleasure having this conversation with you and, knowing how exactly you are